Welcome to Bible Quiz Tube. Bible enthusiasts, are you ready to test your Old Testament knowledge of the book of Esther? This quiz features 25 hard questions, plus a bonus question that will have even the most seasoned Bible student thinking hard. Get ready to dive deep and see how many questions you can answer correctly. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a quiz. Share your scores in the comments below. Let the quiz begin. Question 1. According to the book of Esther, who was the king of Persia during Esther's time? A. Cyrus, B. Artaxerxes, C. Darius, D. Ahasuerus Xerxes. The correct answer is D. Ahasuerus Xerxes. The explanation. Esther chapter 1 verse 1 identifies him. This is what happened during the time of Ahasuerus, Xerxes, the Ahasuerus who ruled over 127 provinces stretching from India to Kush. This Persian king reigned from approximately 486 to 465 BC. Question 2. What was Esther's Hebrew name before she became queen? A. Hadassah, B. Hagit, C. Hephzibah, D. Hannah. The correct answer is A. Hadassah. The explanation. Esther chapter 2 verse 7 reveals, this young woman, who was also known as Esther, was originally called Hadassah. This dual naming reflects her bicultural identity. The name Hadassah means myrtle in Hebrew, while Esther likely derives from the Persian word for star. Question 3. What was Queen Vashti's offense that led to her removal? A. She plotted against the king. B. She refused to appear before the king. C. She insulted the royal officials. D. She was caught in adultery. The correct answer is B. She refused to appear before the king. The explanation. Esther chapter 1 verse 12 states, but when the attendants delivered the king's command, Queen Vashti refused to come. Then the king became furious and burned with anger. Her refusal to be displayed before the king's banquet guests, possibly in an inappropriate manner, led to her removal as queen, creating the vacancy that Esther would later fill. Question 4. What relationship did Mordecai have to Esther? A. Uncle, B. Brother, C. Cousinar, D. Father. The correct answer is C. Cousinar. The explanation. Esther chapter 2 verse 7 explains, Mordecai had a cousin named Hadassah, whom he had brought up because she had neither father nor mother. This family relationship shows how Mordecai became Esther's guardian after her parents died, raising her as his own daughter while technically being her older cousin. Question 5. According to the book of Esther, why did Haman want to destroy all the Jews? A. He discovered a plot among the Jews against the king. B. Mordecai refused to bow down to him. C. He was following the king's direct order. D. He wanted to seize their wealth. The correct answer is B. Mordecai refused to bow down to him. The explanation. Esther chapter 3 verses 5 to 6 states, when Haman saw that Mordecai would not kneel down or pay him honor, he was enraged. Yet having learned who Mordecai's people were, he scorned the idea of killing only Mordecai. Instead, Haman looked for a way to destroy all Mordecai's people. His wounded pride led to a genocidal plot against an entire people. Question 6. What method did Haman use to determine the date for destroying the Jews? A. He cast lots pure. B. He consulted astrologers. C. He selected the anniversary of a Persian victory. D. He chose the king's birthday. The correct answer is A. He cast lots pure. The explanation. Esther chapter 3 verse 7 records, "In the 12th year of King Xerxes in the first month, the month of Nisan, the pure, that is the lot, was cast in the presence of Haman to select a day and month. This practice of determining important decisions by lot was common in ancient cultures, and the holiday celebrating the Jews' deliverance is called Purim after these lots." Question 7. What specific date was set for the extermination of the Jews in Haman's decree? A. 15th day of the first month, Nisan. B. First day of the 7th month, Tishri. C. 10th day of the 5th month, Avenue. D. 13th day of the 12th month, Adar. The correct answer is D. 13th day of the 12th month, Adar. The explanation. Esther chapter 3 verse 13 records, "Dispatches were sent by couriers to all the king's provinces with the order to destroy, kill, and annihilate all the Jews, young and old, women and children, on a single day, the 13th day of the 12th month, the month of Adar." The date was almost a year away from when the decree was issued, giving time for the dramatic events of the story to unfold. Question 8. Which of the following was not part of Mordecai's response when he learned about Haman's plot? A. He put on sackcloth and ashes. B. He tore his clothes. C. He organized an armed resistance. D. He wailed loudly in the city. The correct answer is C. He organized an armed resistance. The explanation. Esther chapter 4 verse 1 tells us, "When Mordecai learned of all that had been done, he tore his clothes, put on sackcloth and ashes, and went out into the city, wailing loudly and bitterly." While Mordecai publicly mourned with traditional Jewish practices, there is no mention of him organizing any armed resistance in response to Haman's decree. Question 9. What was the Persian law regarding approaching the king without being summoned? A. It required bringing a gift or tribute. B. It was punishable by death unless the king extended his golden scepter. C. It was permitted during specific hours of the day. D. It was punishable by imprisonment unless it was the king's relative. The correct answer is B. It was punishable by death unless the king extended his golden scepter. The explanation. Esther chapter 4 verse 11 explains the risk. "All the king's officials and the people of the royal provinces know that for any man or woman who approaches the king in the inner court without being summoned, the king has but one law, that they be put to death unless the king extends the gold scepter to them and spares their lives." This law formed the central tension as Esther prepared to intercede for her people. Question 10. What famous statement did Mordecai make to Esther about her position as queen? A. Who knows but that you have come to your royal position for such a time as this? B. Who knows but that you have come to this position to remember your ancestors? C. Your beauty will save our people. D. The king will surely reward your loyalty. The correct answer is A. Who knows but that you have come to your royal position for such a time as this? The explanation. Esther chapter 4 verse 14 contains Mordecai's pivotal challenge. "And who knows but that you have come to your royal position for such a time as this?" This profound statement suggests divine providence in Esther's rise to become queen, specifically to save her people. Though God is not explicitly mentioned in the book, this implies that her position was part of a greater purpose. You're doing great so far. If you're enjoying the quiz, hit the like button and subscribe for more Bible quiz content. Share your score in the comments, we'd love to hear from you. Let's dive back in. Question 11. How long did Esther call for a fast before she approached the king? A. 2 days and nights. B. 7 days and nights. C. 40 days and nights. D. 3 days and nights. The correct answer is D. 3 days and nights. The explanation. Esther chapter 4 verse 16 records Esther's response, "Go, gather together all the Jews who are in Susa and fast for me. Do not eat or drink for 3 days, night or day. I and my attendants will fast as you do." This period of spiritual preparation demonstrated the gravity of the situation and their dependence on divine intervention before Esther risked her life. Question 12. What invitation did Esther extend to the king after he accepted her initial approach? A. To join her for a private dinner. B. To meet with the Jewish leaders. C. To attend a banquet with her and Haman. D. To visit the temple for prayer. The correct answer is C. To attend a banquet with her and Haman. The explanation. Esther chapter 5 verse 4 states, "If it pleases the king," replied Esther, "let the king, together with Haman, come today to a banquet I have prepared for him." This strategic invitation brought together the 3 key figures in the crisis and was part of Esther's careful plan to expose Haman's plot at the right moment. Question 13. How many banquets did Queen Esther prepare before revealing Haman's plot to the king? A. 4. B. 1. C. 3. D. 2. The correct answer is D. 2. The explanation. Esther invited the king and Haman to 2 consecutive banquets. At the first banquet, Esther chapter 5 verses 6 to 8, she requested they return for a second banquet the following day. It was at this second banquet, Esther chapter 7 verses 1 to 6, that she finally revealed her Jewish identity and exposed Haman's plot against her people. Question 14. What did Haman build at his wife's suggestion to deal with Mordecai? A. A prison. B. A wall around his house. C. Gallows 75 feet high. D. A torture chamber. The correct answer is C. Gallows 75 feet high. The explanation. Esther chapter 5 verse 14 records, his wife Zeresh and all his friends said to him, "Have a gallows built 75 feet high, and ask the king in the morning to have Mordecai hanged on it." The excessive height, 50 cubits, would make the execution visible throughout the city, publicly humiliating Mordecai and warning others against defying Haman. Question 15. What did the king discover during his sleepless night? A. Esther's Jewish identity. B. That Mordecai wasn't rewarded for exposing an assassination plot. C. Haman's plot against the Jews was deliberate and evil. D. A conspiracy among his guards. The correct answer is B. That Mordecai wasn't rewarded for exposing an assassination plot. The explanation. Esther chapter 6 verses 1 to 3 reveals, that night the king could not sleep, so he ordered the book of the Chronicles, the record of his reign, to be brought in and read to him. It was found recorded there that Mordecai had exposed the plot of Bigtana and Teresh to assassinate King Xerxes. "What honor and recognition has Mordecai received for this?" the king asked. "Nothing has been done for him," his attendants answered. This providential timing would lead to Mordecai's exaltation and Haman's humiliation. Question 16. How was Mordecai honored for saving the king's life? A. Haman had to lead him through the city streets in royal robes on the king's horse. B. His name was inscribed on a monument. C. He was given a high position in the palace. D. He was awarded gold and silver. The correct answer is A. Haman had to lead him through the city streets in royal robes on the king's horse. The explanation. Esther chapter 6 verses 10 to 11 describes this ironic turn. "Go at once," the king commanded Haman. "Get the robe and the horse and do just as you have suggested for Mordecai the Jew." So Haman got the robe and the horse. he robed Mordecai and led him on horseback through the city streets, proclaiming before him, "This is what is done for the man the king delights to honor." This public honor was especially humiliating for Haman, who had expected to receive such honor himself. Question 17. What was the name of Haman's wife? A. Harbona, B. Zeresh, C. Memujan, D. Vashti. The correct answer is B. Zeresh. The explanation. Esther chapter 5 verses 10 to 14 mentions, "But even with all this, Haman restrained himself and went home. Calling together his friends and Zeresh his wife, Haman boasted to them about his vast wealth. Zeresh initially encouraged Haman's plot against Mordecai but later predicted his downfall, showing her awareness of the special protection over the Jewish people." Question 18. How did Haman die? A. He was stabbed by the king. B. He died in battle against the Jews. C. He was poisoned at Esther's banquet. D. He was hanged on the gallows he had prepared for Mordecai. The correct answer is D. He was hanged on the gallows he had prepared for Mordecai. The explanation. Esther chapter 7 verses 9 to 10 records. Then Harbona, one of the eunuchs attending the king, said, "A gallows 75 feet high stands by Haman's house. He had it made for Mordecai, who spoke up to help the king. The king said, 'Hang him on it.' So they hanged Haman on the gallows he had prepared for Mordecai." This ironic reversal of fortune exemplifies the theme of divine providence throughout the book. Question 19. Who received Haman's estate after his execution? A. Mordecai, B. Haman's sons, C. Esther, D. the king's treasury. The correct answer is C. Esther. The explanation. Esther chapter 8 verses 1 to 2 states, "That same day King Xerxes gave Queen Esther the estate of Haman, the enemy of the Jews." This transfer of wealth from the Jews' enemy to the Jewish queen symbolizes the complete reversal of fortune that occurs throughout the narrative. You're doing great so far. If you're enjoying the quiz, hit the like button and subscribe for more Bible quiz content. Share your score in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. Let's dive back in. Question 20. What position was Mordecai given after Haman's death? A. Second in rank to the king. B. Governor of Susa. C. Chief bodyguard. D. High priest. The correct answer is A. Second in rank to the king. The explanation. Esther chapter 10 verse 3 confirms, Mordecai the Jew was second in rank to King Xerxes, preeminent among the Jews, and held in high esteem by his many fellow Jews, because he worked for the good of his people and spoke up for the welfare of all the Jews. This elevation from sitting at the king's gate to becoming the second most powerful man in the empire represents another dramatic reversal in the story. Question 21. What problem did the Jews face even after Haman's death? A. They lost their property rights. B. They were banned from the capital city. C. Haman's original decree to kill the Jews could not be revoked. D. The king withdrew his support. The correct answer is C. Haman's original decree to kill the Jews could not be revoked. The explanation. Esther chapter 8 verse 8 explains the dilemma. Now write another decree in the king's name on behalf of the Jews as seems best to you, and seal it with the king's signet ring, for no document written in the king's name and sealed with his ring can be revoked. According to Persian law, even the king could not nullify his own decree once sealed, creating the need for a creative solution to save the Jewish people. Question 22. How did the king resolve the problem of the irreversible decree against the Jews? A. He pardoned any official who refused to carry out the original decree. B. He ordered his army to protect the Jews. C. He allowed the Jews to leave Persia before the appointed day. D. He issued a new decree allowing Jews to defend themselves and destroy their enemies. The correct answer is D. He issued a new decree allowing Jews to defend themselves and destroy their enemies. The explanation. Esther chapter 8 verse 11 describes the new decree. The king's edict granted the Jews in every city the right to assemble and protect themselves, to destroy, kill, and annihilate the armed men of any nationality or province who might attack them and their women and children, and to plunder the property of their enemies. This counterbalancing edict effectively neutralized Haman's original decree while respecting the unchangeable nature of Persian law. Question 23. How many of Haman's sons were killed during the Jews' self-defense? A. 7. B. 10. C. 12. D. 5. The correct answer is B. 10. The explanation. Esther chapter 9 verses 7 to 10 specifically names all 10 sons of Haman who were killed by the Jews. The 10 sons of Haman son of Hammedatha, the enemy of the Jews, were killed. This detail emphasizes the complete elimination of Haman's lineage, preventing any future revenge against the Jews from his descendants. Question 24. What Jewish festival originated from the events in the book of Esther? A. Purim. B. Hanukkah. C. Passover. D. Yom Kippur. The correct answer is A. Purim. The explanation. Esther chapter 9 verse 26 explains, "Therefore they called these days Purim from the word pure, that is the lot." This festival commemorates the deliverance of the Jewish people from Haman's plot to destroy them, taking its name from the lots, Purim, that Haman cast to determine the date for the Jews' annihilation. Question 25. How did Mordecai initially discover the plot against the king's life? A. Esther told him about it after hearing palace gossip. B. He overheard the conspirators while sitting at the king's gate. C. One of the conspirators confessed to him. D. He received a warning in a dream. The correct answer is B. He overheard the conspirators while sitting at the king's gate. The explanation. Esther chapter 2 verses 21 to 23 records. During the time Mordecai was sitting at the king's gate, Bigtana and Teresh, 2 of the king's officers who guarded the doorway, became angry and conspired to assassinate King Xerxes. But Mordecai found out about the plot and told Queen Esther, who in turn reported it to the king, giving credit to Mordecai. His position at the gate, possibly as a minor official, allowed him to uncover this conspiracy that would later prove pivotal to the story's resolution. Now to the bonus question. Take a moment to ponder these special moments in Scripture. Question 26. An interesting feature of the book of Esther is the absence of direct mention of what? A. King Ahasuerus. B. The city of Jerusalem. C. The name of Persia. D. God or prayer. The correct answer is D. God or prayer. The explanation. The book of Esther is unique among biblical books in that it never directly mentions God, prayer, worship, or other explicitly religious elements. Despite this, divine providence is implied throughout the narrative through the remarkable timing of events and reversals of fortune. This absence may reflect the secular Persian setting and emphasize how God can work through seemingly ordinary circumstances. Congratulations on completing all the questions. Thank you for joining us on today's quiz here on Bible Quiz Tube. Your engagement, every comment, like, and shared insight makes this community truly special. Together, we grow closer to God's Word with every question answered. Did today's questions challenge you? Share your score and thoughts in the comments. Your insight could inspire someone else and light the way for others. Like, subscribe, and ring the bell for tough Bible quizzes, trivia, and encouragement that inspire and challenge. Have a question or topic you'd love us to explore? Drop it in the comments. Your curiosity shapes the content we create and helps us grow together. Remember, every question brings us one step closer to understanding His truth. Until next time, may His word guide your steps and light your path. See you in the next challenging Bible quiz. Stay blessed.